Hey everyone, welcome to the challenge group. I am so excited that you're here, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you as you guys start to make some changes with your health and your nutrition. Today I just wanted to go over the nutrition plan and the packet that most of you ordered, but some of you will have already gotten it by now, some of you are still waiting for it. So I figure if I can go through this plan for you, then if you haven't received your packet yet, you'll at least have an idea of what you're getting. And if you have, then you'll have the materials you need to look through it. And I also know, you can read through all this in the book that comes with it, but I feel like we're all different kinds of learners. And so if you're visual or you like to hear it or you're kinesthetic, then this way we cover our basis. But so you should have gotten, or you will get, a booklet in the mail with your initial challenge pack. And that booklet it's the Portion Fix eating plan. And part of the reason that I love this plan is because it's really helping you learn where you're getting enough nutrients and where you're not. It's helping you learn what you're missing, maybe what you're not getting enough of. So you should have gotten one of those books, or you're gonna get one of those books. And then you would have gotten a bunch of these small colorful containers. And with these containers, you are going to be using them to measure your food. Now you don't have to eat out of these containers. I guess you can if you want to. I personally prefer eating off of a plate or in a bowl. And so they really are, these are your measuring cups. These are what you're using to measure each macronutrient, each set of food. And so your green is going to be your vegetables. Your purple will be your fruit. Your red will be your protein. Your yellow is your carbohydrate. And then your blue and your orange are your healthy fats. You'll also see on the list that you get some teaspoons for other versions of healthy fats, oils, things like that, things that don't go in the containers as well. And then I get a lot of questions as far as why you get 2 orange. You get 2 orange just for the sake of ease. A lot of people tend to use these for salad dressings, and so if you do tend to meal prep, they just stick the orange right in with their salad, and then they drizzle the salad dressing over it. So the orange is really, you get 2 just because it makes it easier to meal prep. So really, again, one of the reasons I absolutely love this system is because unlike other diet plans or other food plans, we're really looking to give your body the right amount of nutrition. We're really looking to find the right combination of macronutrients that your body needs for building blocks to stay well, to boost your immune system, to function as highly as possible while still losing weight. It's not a starvation diet. The goal is not that you're hungry all the time. And honestly, I'm going to take you through some calculations next, and they're very baseline, they're very general, and they may not fit your body, and that's okay because we will work with that throughout the year. I'm going to need you to communicate with me as far as what you need and how you're feeling, and I will help you make some of those adjustments as we go along. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn to the very beginning of the book and kind of flip through the introduction pages. It gives you a breakdown of what the 7 containers are. And then it's going to take you to a formula that's pretty standard. You're going to take your current weight times 11, 12, or 13 depending on your activity level through the day. If you don't tend to be very active, or you have to work at your desk the whole day, or your lifestyle just doesn't require a lot of extra movement, then you're going to take your base weight, your current weight, times 11, and that's going to be your calorie baseline. If you have a little bit more of an active lifestyle, you work out occasionally, you take the stairs, you just try and be on your feet more often, then you're going to take your base calorie, or your current weight, times 12, and that's going to be your base calorie. And then the third is times 13, and that's if you have a physically demanding job like a construction worker, or you're on your feet all day long. That's someone who is moving as much as they possibly can. And so most of us are going to take it by 11 or 12. And again, it's one of those things that this is going to change a little bit because everybody's metabolism is different. This is going to help give us a baseline, it's going to help give us a starting point, and then from there, we're going to make the adjustments to get you in your personal bracket. So you've got your calorie baseline, and then as you flip through, it's going to tell you to add 400 or 700 calories depending on which workout program you're doing. A lot of people are going to start with the 21-day fix, and so if you're going to start with 21-day fix, it's going to be plus 400. If you are going to start with your 80-day obsession or your P90X or one of the more intense programs, then you're going to add 700 calories to your baseline calories that you made from the page before, or that you came up with from the page before. Most of us are going to end up adding 400 calories there. So again, if you have questions, please let me know. And then finally, you kind of need to decide where you are. If you want to work on losing weight, then you're going to take 700, you're going to subtract 750 calories from your maintenance calories. And your maintenance calories were your baseline plus the amount of calories from your workout. Excuse me. If your goal is to maintain, but to tone and to strengthen and to build, then you want to keep your maintenance calories as is. You don't want to take that 750 off. You don't want to lose that weight. If your goal is to so lose weight or maintain and tone, those are two different experiences. And then finally, if you're breastfeeding or pregnant, then you want to add an additional 500 calories to your maintenance calories, and that's going to help keep your milk supply up. Again, this is a starting point, so as we go through the first 21 days, if we need to make adjustments, we can. I highly recommend that you start with something and you set it, and you stick with it for at least 2 weeks, if not more, and then we make adjustments after that, because that gives your body time to react to it, respond to it, and settle in. So that's just a brief. I know that you guys can read all this through the book that you got, but I figured that would help. Again, the goal is not that you're hungry all the time. This is all very general numbers. This is all very general math. And so if you're someone that has a crazy high metabolism, then you may jump up a bracket or two and still lose weight because your metabolism is so high. So again, this is just where we're starting. This gives us a jumping off point. So once you figure out what calorie bracket you're going to be in, or your target calorie range, you're going to see that there's portion plans, and this is where you're going to start using your containers and where you're going to figure out what you need. And again, if you're breastfeeding, whatever your numbers came up there for your calorie maintenance, you're going to want to add 500 to that, so it typically bumps you up a bracket. So there's A, B, C, D, and E, and F. And so just depending on where you fall, if you want to maintain and or if you want to build, then we may jump you up a bracket or two. If you have a very high metabolism, you may find yourself in a bracket up from where your math and your calculations put you. So just know that, again, this is where we're starting. This is beginning in the fresh, and it's our starting point. So please stay in touch with me. Please help me help you by communicating with me how you feel, and so that way we can make adjustments as needed. So then as you keep going through your book and you figured out what bracket you're in, then you need to start thinking towards meal planning and what that looks like. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about this Portion Fix book is when you go through and it tells you like what foods go in your containers. So like here it tells you all the veggies that you can put in, and then all the fruits that you can put in. This list is actually listed from most nutrient dense to least nutrient dense. And so the beauty is that if you start to pick more of the nutrient dense foods to fill your containers, then you're really giving your body the building blocks it needs. Do you have to stay on the top fourth of the list? No, you don't. That's the beauty of the whole list. But it does give you the opportunity to realize that, hey, I could choose kale, or I could choose onions or radishes, and the kale is going to be much more nutrient dense than the white radishes, and so maybe today I'm going to choose kale. So personally, as someone who loves nutrition, I love the idea of giving my body the nutrients it needs and the energy and the building blocks to repair my muscles and give me the energy I want. So keep that in mind as you're meal planning, and as you're looking through this list, you're going to want to kind of work from top down and incorporate more of those top foods. There are two types of plans. You have your regular plan, which is the one I'm kind of talking through today. There's also the option of the vegan plan, which is much more plant-based, and their red and yellow containers are slightly different. You're only going to find the vegan container or plan online on Beachbody On Demand, and so if you want to follow the vegan plan, that's perfectly fine. If you need help finding it, let me know and I'll walk you through that. But today we're just going to go through the standard program. I know I actually have a tendency to kind of combine the two because I like a lot more greens than my base bracket puts me in. So then I'm eating a little bit more plant-based, but I'm still keeping the red animal protein in. But again, that's all personal preference. So like I said, as you go through, you can see, the top of the list is going to be your healthier options. There are some substitutions that you can make and some treats that you can work in, because I know that some of us don't do real well with the no, I can't have anything. And so there you have the opportunity to have 4 ounces of wine a couple times a week with your yellow container. You have that if you want to use it. Now, given that's giving up a whole yellow container for 4 ounces of wine. So if you're someone who likes to drink your calories, that's a great option. It can also, like I said, it can help if you're someone that doesn't do well with the total restriction. It's the beauty and the flex of the program. The other thing that I love about this is it's so flexible. So like if you're someone who doesn't do well on grains, you absolutely fill your yellows with potatoes. You fill them with sweet potatoes. You can fill it with beans or butternut squash or something that is not grain-based, but you're still getting your healthy carbs. Now, maybe you actually don't do well with potatoes. Maybe potatoes kind of bloat you. So then you can stick with more of the quinoa or the brown rice or something. And so what I love about this is it's not like everybody has to eat the same thing. You absolutely take this and use your intuition and use your body clues as far as what feels good, what tastes good, and what settles well, because we don't all digest food the same way. Same goes for your reds. Maybe you do really well with fish, but you have a hard time digesting red meat, or you digest red meat really well, but chicken is hard. So that's what this is. The beauty of this system is that it can work for everyone, unlike some of the other diets, because it is so open and it is so flexible. It really is helping you learn how to give your body the nutrients it needs. We're not starving our body, we are nourishing our body. So that's kind of the premise on the containers. The other thing I wanted to talk about is once you get into meal planning, the booklet gives you a great example of how to spread out your meals throughout the day. And then a lot of you are trying to do this with families, and that can be tricky. And I get a lot of questions about, well, what do I do for family dinner and whatnot? What I would encourage you to do is to reverse engineer your day. And so if you know you're going to have lasagna for dinner, then set up your day so that you know that you're going to have a yellow, red, and a green at dinner, and those are spoken for. So you can't use those the rest of the day. And fill in your day accordingly. The other thing is, if you have certain meals that your family loves to eat and it makes it easier that everyone can eat the same meal, then what I would encourage you to do, whether it's lasagna or chili or tacos, either use Google, Pinterest, or the Beachbody On Demand blog and search those recipes with the 21 Day Fix. So 21 Day Fix lasagna or 21 Day Fix tacos. And it's going to help you pull up a recipe that A, makes multiple servings for a whole family, and B, actually breaks up your containers for you, so you know that it's one yellow, one red, and one green if you make it the way the recipe does. And it makes it so easy, so that way you don't have to try and put your own recipes together and guess on the containers, and it just can get messy. So this program has been around long enough that there are so many options out there. So that's how I would encourage you to handle family meals, especially if that's something that you do on a regular basis. Let's see. Just want to make sure that I cover all my bases here. Oh, I get a lot of questions about unsweetened almond milk. If you want to use unsweetened almond milk in your shakes and in your Shakeology, that's perfectly fine. 12 ounces is going to count for 1 of your teaspoons, which is awesome. They just changed that this past October, so I'm excited about that. Let's see. So some of the ways that, again, some of the ways that I know that I have done some meal planning in the past that have worked for me or my family. I'm not really good about like setting it up individual containers every week. That's just not my style. I have a ton of clients that do, and it works for them, and I love it. I actually have one that freezes things in individual containers so that she can pull it out and it's ready when she's ready to go, and I love that idea. I wish I was more like that, but I'm not. And so what I tend to do is I meal prep while I cook. And so if I'm making a chicken dish, then I'm gonna make 4 or 5 extra chicken breasts with that dish, and so then I have that protein throughout the rest of the week. And then I also make my grains in big batches. So I take, that's my dog. So I take rice, I take brown rice, and I cook my brown rice at 10 cups at a time. And I freeze it in 2-bag containers so that I can always, 2-cup bags. Sorry, as the dog came in, I lost my train of thought. But I save it and freeze it in 2-cup bags, and then pull that out, and I have my grains or my yellow containers set for the rest of the week. I tend to do all my vegetables fresh or cook them fresh because we don't have a microwave, and so rewarming cooked vegetables on the stove is not my favorite. If you have a microwave, that's probably an easier process for you. But again, you do have to put some meal prep and meal planning into this for it to work. But all of you are here because you want to make a change, and you don't make a change if you don't start changing what you're doing. Nothing's going to change if you don't change anything. So if you don't want to meal prep, you're probably not going to have a ton of success with this. So it's one of those things that if you really do want to make a change, then you have to change some of the things you're doing. This is just a little tough love to start out for you, but I feel like it needs to be said. This program absolutely works when you put the time in and you make the change. It also very moldable to what you need. Like I said, maybe you don't do grains well. You go ahead and you fill this with your starchier vegetables, and that's a great carb. And so again, stay in touch with me. Let me know what's working for you and what's not, and I will guide you through that. I hope that helps. Sorry, I had a few minutes there, and I'm getting interrupted. Okay, so there's a ton of recipes here in your Fixate book that you're gonna get. There's also a ton on Beachbody On Demand, so I would say start looking through those and see what you like. I'm really excited about you guys being here. I'm excited to help you walk through this change. And again, if you want to see change, you got to start changing. You have to start doing something different than what you're currently doing. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'm excited to get started.